The new channel. Hashtag TNC Now.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following shows are those of the host, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the new channel. Our passion transforms a community that seeks all things new. I'm Nato Agbayani. You're watching Para sa Bayan. Welcome to the show. Welcome. You're still watching Para sa Bayan. So today, we have a very special guest. This is Mighty Magulang 101. And before, I'm supposed to introduce her, but everybody knows her already. But just for a little introduction, she just recently won the Innovator of the Year award in the Bicon in Cebu. And this makes her really, of course, a sensation in terms of TikTok. Now, one of the in our generation that's already translating history and providing information for the young people. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce to you the mighty magulang herself, Miss Magno-Veluz. So Mona, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us in spite of short notice. Ayun.
Thank you for having me, Nato. And alam mo
Yes.
naman, anytime, basta ikaw, for those who don't know, Nato and I actually have a history of serving the Autism Society Philippines. So connected kami even before this whole, I guess the visibility on social media.
Before this sensation. Ikaw na yung
Char.
mighty magulang. So, Mona, I'll go right into the questions. First, tell us about your journey into exploring, kumbaga, this new platform over TikTok, and then I think you also have on other social platforms, no? So, yes, please, tell us more about your journey.
Well, you know me from ASP naman, Nato. Ever since, I've always been technology savvy, and I've always been on social media. Pero last year, I had my bout of, I would call it, I think, mental health issues. Na parang I was sad. Sabi ko, ay sige, I'll go on TikTok,
Okay.
mukhang masaya doon. And I can flex my creativity, I can flex all of that. And I selected history and genealogy because I have been a genealogist. I've been a freelance genealogist for 20 years. And I had so much information. I don't talk about history enough. So sabi ko, sige, yun ang gagawin ko. And when I started, I felt, wala namang makikinig sa akin. Mga anak ko lang siguro malamang. Kasi nga, di ba, we're already outside that generational box that is supposed to be
Correct.
the market for TikTok. So I thought, okay lang yun. Kasi my purpose is really to express myself. So that was what I did. I did not expect how people are going to, how how I was welcomed by that generation. And I feel parang the generation that the Gen Zers welcomed me because there is a gap that I filled na parang hindi sila nagkaroon ng enough history education in high school or in grade school, and I'm sharing the stuff that they hope they could have learned in school.
Yeah, because you see, parang all the platform is mainly Hugot, si jowa, si ganyan. So minsan, 'di ba, parang psychological facts or facts about men, tapos 1, 2, 3, parang meron bang facts na present? So I mean, this is really
And
significant,
naman,
'di ba?
in fairness, I think there are a lot of innovative and educational content creators on that platform.
Yes.
Pero kasi yung algorithm niya works in a certain way na kapag ang papanoorin mo lang pagsasayaw, ang
Oo.
ipu-push sa'yo puro pagsasayaw lang. Pero kapag
Yes.
nanonood ka ng educational content, nanonood ka ng mga, for example, news channels, it will push the same kind of content on you.
On the specific person, 'di ba? Yung algorithm niya will connect to you, no?
Correct. Oo. Kung ano,
So ibig pala sabihin
i-customize eh.
masyadong maraming pinapanood tayong nagsasayaw. Ay, joke. Or nade-determine niya
Okey
kung
din
male ka,
yun.
middle age, yung mga gano'n, 'di ba?
Oo. Ako naman puro pusa tsaka aso, so parang ang dami kong mga gano'n kasi I like it na alam nung system na okay, you spend more than 10 seconds on this video,
Yes.
so they're going to push more of that kind of content.
Pero have you realized like what the impact is having? Like, of course, you were awarded the Innovator of the Year, and to me, well, of course, there are other content creators that go to that platform or to other platforms, but still, I think yours is kind of unique. What do you think drew the attention, drew the followers to your specific platform and to the genealogy, history, fact checking, kasi parang rare, 'di ba? In that particular
Actu
platform.
Nagtatanong din nga ako sa sarili ko minsan, para kasi I'm not your traditional TikTok content creator. Dun sa
Yes.
doon sa Cebu, and the the peeps of TNC who were also there would attest na parang,
Right.
"Ay, ano ba 'to, fish out of water ako, puro mga 30 somethings, puro mga ka-age ng mga anak natin yung mga
Correct.
nandun." So, I feel that I do have a unique profile as a creator.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
my content, I think, is at least when I started last year, was different. Yun nga na hindi siya katulad nung iba. Mine is longer also. Mina-max out ko yung 3 minutes na binibigay ng TikTok.
So 3 minutes.
And
You do 3 minutes.
mm,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
And yung iba sabi to do well on TikTok dapat 8 seconds or less lang daw ang iyong
Okay.
wala ka namang makukwento in 8 seconds, 'di ba?
Exactly.
So, oo. So, and mine actually does a little bit of deep dive. Siguro I feel there is that hunger din talaga for historical content, and I think because I am naman na lalo na last year, there was this push and pull kung sino ang tama, kung sino ang fake, kung sino ang
Mhm.
nagsasabi ng totoo. And ako kasi I didn't have any affiliations. I wasn't affiliated with a news outlet. I wasn't
Yes.
affiliated with with any political party. So when I
Mhm.
delivered history, it was coming from place of uh, honesty. I think that was, I think, novel to many people. Of course, pero syempre kapag yung totoo ay hindi pabor sa iyo, some people would still get mad at me. Some people would
Right.
say I'm still biased. Pero sa totoo lang, the information that I put out, especially yung yung after na ako nag-viral, talagang research ko. As in,
Mm.
bago ko ilabas yung video, I have to look at primary information, I have to,
Right.
and kung wala yung primary data, hanapan mo ng secondary, tertiary data. So I have any point, sabihin niyo sa akin anong basis mo, meron akong pagbubunutan. So, yun yung yun yung I think attracted some of my viewers kasi I bring receipts. Kumbaga kung gugustuhin,
Oo.
may resibo.
Pero how do you choose? Like, for example, this week I'll do a series on genealogies of famous families. Or how do you choose? I mean, overall.
Uh, I do have a calendar na based on
Mm,
dates. So, halimbawa, whatever happened today, sure. Pero minsan, merong mga nangyayari na compelling. Sabi ko nga, I have 20 years of research. So,
right.
anytime, for example, nung nag-trending ang Remulla family. So, I have their genealogy. I was able to
Mm,
discuss the genealogy of the Remullas kasi nasa ano ko na yon, nasa database ko na yon. So I use my calendar like according to the date, and I also leverage on current events. Kung whatever is current, that's what I talk about. Pero I
okay.
still I'm still confined to what is relevant to history and genealogy.
So, I noticed pati yung mga ano, no, tama yung sabi mo, yung what is relevant. For example, yung Marcos Aquino, parang connectedness or shall we say
Mm-mm.
ganon, no? But moving forward, I mean, so anyway, I know you're very busy and I know you have very a lot of ano no schedule. So, what do you hope to do within the next itong next year? What are your plans for this particular platform, itong Mighty Magulang um, history discussion? I mean, what will we see? What something new, no, will we see in your content?
I
What are
think
your plans? No?
before kasi I'm very straightforward. Ito yung nangyari, ito yung facts. I think
Right.
right now, I am beginning to layer the messaging. So for example, I had a recent talk on inflation. What is
Mhm.
the history of inflation in our country? I mentioned that. Pero ninilayeran ko rin ng message na, okay, bakit nagkaroon ng inflation? Tapos, linilayeran mo rin ng ano yung pwede mong gawin para ma matulungan ang bansa para makaahon dun sa sitwasyon natin sa inflation. So I'm starting to layer the messaging. And again, all within ano, 'di ba? All within 3 minutes. I
Yeah.
also did something on how words matter. So the I do have that message pero ang binubunot ko would be ano pa rin, would be historical information. Like yeah, so ganun pa rin. It's always going to come from that. Siguro the only unique thing that I will be coming out with within the next I would say month or so is we're going to have paid content. So this is something that you would have to subscribe to, and we're doing a
Uh,
series on autism sensitivity and response. So i-leverage ko na rin yung Mighty Magulang to help deliver training on autism sensitivity.
Actually, ang galing niyan kasi come to think of it on the platforms, wala masyado. In fact, ano no, I mean in some content, they make fun talaga of ano no, of people with disabilities, and it's something sayang no, no. This is a I think Gen Zs in general are also sensitive na to, you know, if this is racist or if this is mapang-api ba to sa ibang sectors, is this gender insensitive, mga ganun, no? So they're very open, and in fact, if it can be popularized, it's a very, I suppose, it's a very effective platform. So, um, speaking of ano, itong cats, ito na naman yung cat ko. So, when you
Meow meow.
meow meow, ano yan? Is because of the is it
No,
because
that's my ano
pero
that's
ano
how I
eh,
open all of my videos.
oo nga eh. I noticed, meow meow, parang, oops, parang, it's like a, how do you call it? It's like a news break. Parang gano'n.
Actually, ang story nun is we have 18 cats. 1-8.
Oh,
And my kids take care of our cats, and
oo.
kapag nagtatawagan kami when we want to I'm calling my daughter, meow meow, I
Right.
would call my daughter. And when my children want to call me, they say
Oo.
meow meow. So tawagan namin yon to catch our attention. And I think I used it for one video. Pagkatapos, wala, kitan lang ako, pinanindigan ko na.
Hindi, actually, parang, oops, alam mo si Mighty Magulang na yan, parang gano'n eh. Meow, meow, oop, ano meron? What's new? What's new on
Oh,
this platform? So, ayun, well, it's like this. So, I'm sure you won't stay a longer time, no? But if you were to talk to DepEd or the traditional, kasi may mga teachers nag-aano rin, nag-aano din dyan sa platform na yan, but it's also dance. And well, meron namang ano, yung mga common sense, ano, pero joke pa rin. Parang gano'n. Parang, um, if you were to, um, if you were to give tips to the government, kasi itong para sa bayan is really for nation building. No? We want to build the nation. And this is one way, no, of building the country with, of course, information, yung mga tipong uh, PWA sensitive information. No? If you were to talk to these people, to these institutions, because alam mo naman, ang institutions natin sa pamahalaan are already, aging. And there's fresh content that has to be communicated across the system or across the lines of, I think 27 million learners for senior high, and so yun. So anyways, um, if you were to recommend something to government, how would you do it? I mean, kung ikaw yung magtuturo sa kanila, oh, ito, let's use these platforms and this is what we should do. What would you recommend?
Manato, it's strange, no? Kasi the TikTok platform has actually had a surge of educational TikTok creators. So,
Right.
in fact, that there are hashtags like learn it on TikTok, tsaka hashtag EduWow has been
Mm.
is like the biggest hashtags on the platform. It has more than 3 billion views so far. So the platform
Right.
is really quite effective in doing that, and it's education on demand, right? So if you want to
Mm.
learn about working out, if you want to learn about cooking, if you want to learn about history, merong mga
Mm.
content creators covering that. If I were to talk to government, and alam mo naman sa ASP, di ba, we talk to them, and we also try to find that kung ano yung pulso ng mga teachers, ng mga guro, hindi lang yung sa atin. What we're saying is, I think we should teach the way that children learn. Hindi dapat meron tayong approach na, okay, mula nung nasa school ako, ganito na to eh. So dapat ganito rin kayo matuto. The reality is the way we learned in school is different from the way the children are learning now. This
Correct.
generation is they were born with the internet. They are internet natives, they say. They're digital
Exactly.
natives. So
Correct.
they're very different from us. And as teachers and as educators, whether formal educators or parents teaching our children, we have to open ourselves to the possibility that maybe ito yung ating carrot, di ba? If you want them to
Mm.
get interested in something, make it fun for them. Maybe this is it. If they if we develop their interest deep enough and they want to go and uh, you know go deep dive, then there are books, there are references. Pero alam mo, Nato, sadly, I'm hearing nga that our reading comprehension is quite low for our
Going
country,
down. Yeah.
and that
That's right.
yes, and I think it also has something to do with the fact that we do too much video. Uh, hindi na nagbabasa yung mga bata. So ano gagawin
Correct.
natin? Tayo ba ang yung mga bata ba yung mag-a-adjust o tayo ang mag-a-adjust sa kanila? So it has to be a happy middle. I think we do have to continue inspiring them to read, pero they need that carrot to get there. And ako, and on my content, so I only have 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, I usually have a link in my bio that directs them to the resources and whatever bibliography I had for that content, so they are free to explore if they want.
So it can actually be used for research.
It
'Di
could
ba?
if they
Oh.
refer to the bibliography, not my ayoko nung ganun eh. Yung sabihin nila,
Oo.
"Ma'am, pwede ho ba namin gawing source yung video nyo sa thesis?" Sabi ko, "Abagoy, hindi. Dapat ang ang kukunin nyo ay yung mga peer-reviewed journals, peer-reviewed books, as in primary
Yeah.
information, hindi yung nasa TikTok, YouTube at Facebook."
Parang ganito, ma'am, according to Mighty Magulang, ito yung genealogy ni ganito at ni ganyan. Parang gano'n, no? And I will use this video as a reference. Pero ano, no,
Correct.
come to think of it.
Meron namang sources. So you go to the source. Wag mo
Oo.
kunin yung middleman.
Yeah, pero you're right, no? We should teach in a way that they are learning. And that's through TikTok. Kasi parang ganito ha, if you talk about psychology facts, sabihin nila 1, 2, 3, 4, people believe that these are coming from books or psychology experts, di ba? Parang yun nga. So there's fact and there's it's presented this way, so people now think it's the real facts. No? So ang hirap niya.
Right. And I don't know, Nato, if you've noticed ha, parang kasi, like especially during the pandemic, even sa even sa mga artista, parang
Yeah,
parang lessen yung artista draw. Parang people are now looking at content creators on TikTok. Kung makikita mo yung mga bagong commercials on TV now, they're from TikTok. They're content
yeah,
creators there. At least they
exactly.
started there. And in the same way, parang there's this distrust towards journalists, there's this distrust towards experts, which is really sad. Kasi talagang sila naman yung experts noon eh. Sila talaga yung professional
Correct.
doon. So ngayon, I find myself na parang I'm a retailer of facts through the stories that I give. So I think there are a lot of us na we are not the ones who did the primary research, but we access primary documents, we access the well researched materials, and we can condense and synthesize everything. In the same way, like for example, the psychology, there are a lot of talagang kumbaga, psychologists on TikTok, for example, and there are historians, there are architects, there are doctors on that
Musicians.
platform.
So yeah.
Oo, pero ang advice ko lang doon is talagang pagpipili kayo ng susubaybayan. Subaybayan nyo yung talagang may credentials for what they're talking about. Ang problema nga yung mga ako ang pinaka nakikita kong iffy na area is parang like people off the street talking about Supreme Court decisions na biglang naging lawyer ang mga kapatid natin na biglang nagbibigay ng opinions about laws and about rulings ng court nang wala naman silang credentials in that area. So ayun, dapat hanapin natin yung talaga may credentials.
And the right balance, no? So Mona, thank you for that initial portion of our discussion about your work, about this phenomenal journey that you've gone through. Later on, when we come back after the break, let's talk about what you do on a day-to-day basis, and maybe more on your advocacy for, of course, AOK, no, yung Autism OK. I think this is a good venue for people to realize also how ordinary people can help the building the sensitivity towards people with disabilities and of course people with autism. Okay, so all right, so we'll go right into a break, Mona, and then after this break we'll discuss deeper into your advocacies and the things that you do. So ladies and gentlemen, viewers, we'll be right back with Magno-Veluz, si Mighty Magulang. All right, see you later.
Juan Lu and his puppets face to face with special guests Makata Tawanan, Jess Box, and the Lunaria Marionette Show.
Salita. Alam mo, Tito Ando, kung wala ako, magsasalita ka mag-isa. Kung wala ako, wala kang masusuot. Kung wala ako, wala kang nakakain.
November 13, Sunday, 7 p.m. at the La Verdad Auditorium in Apalit, Pampanga. Buy your tickets now and see you soon, face to face.
Greenfield District, the future-ready district, home to Greenfield Tower, with its state-of-the-art fiber optic internet backbone. Connectivity is built right into residences like Twin Oaks Place. 15 flourishing hectares right at the heart of Metro Manila, so that at work and at play, we can plant a future where dreams grow. Greenfield District, the future-ready district.
Hello, you're still watching Para sa Bayan here on the new channel. Please don't forget to watch all our other shows here on TNC. The new channel is an online alternative new media platform of online shows for people on the go. Please watch all our shows as seen on the screen. Imagine having your own show, your own playlist, your own content, but we make it easier for you. TNC aims to transform the lives of our viewers through engaging, authentic, and original content. Our channel is a responsible global 24/7 platform that showcases Filipino talent, global influencers, cultural intelligence, and ingenuity. Of course, you can watch us live or replay via Facebook or YouTube. Follow us on IG, listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Just search TNCN. Of course, for our sponsorships, please email now at the new channel or send us a DM. Enjoy these life-changing shows because we made them just for you. So, hello. Bringing back Magno-Veluz, Mighty Magulang on the show on here on Para sa Bayan. Hi Mona. So earlier we discussed your journey with the new platform that's really sweeping the whole world. And you've made very, very big, huge steps and inroads into that platform, into teaching, or as you mentioned, being a retailer of information or historical information pertaining to genealogies, no? And then of course some other things that you're also doing on that platform, which is sabi mo nga you were planning or you're planning towards the next few months to also be part of since you're the president also of the Autism Society Philippines. It's this is the high time that you can use this platform to do the advocacy over the platform. So how do you plan to do this, or could you tell us more about your advocacy for AOK Philippines, Mona? Yes,
Sure.
please. Go
Oo.
ahead.
So, of course, for most of the week, I actually am working with the Autism Society Philippines. We still
Right.
are very hands-on. The leadership ASP is very hands-on on the day-to-day. So, I would, we were, we actually have a plan in place already to deliver uh, autism sensitivity and response
Mhm.
training for individuals through TikTok. The reason being is if we want accreditation training, people,
Mhm.
especially for example retailers or those who work in dining establishments, can't really sit down for a long time to do the training. They would so we are looking at using TikTok so people can um, log on at their convenience. They can take
Mhm.
the short quizzes at their convenience, and then also save, because I think TikTok is free for many of the uh, the cellular service vendors out there. So
Providers.
yun,
Yes.
that's one thing that we wanted to do to kind of leverage on this upcoming platform, kasi nga this is where people are.
Mhm.
We've noticed that people already have Zoom fatigue. They don't stay very long in Zooms. People also are getting tired of YouTube because of the ads. So we are looking at delivering those content, maybe siguro 1 hour training cut up into 3-minute sections, and
Okay.
delivering it through TikTok. It's going to be kumaga, you're going to get a certificate of completion after it. Of course, you would have to fill out a small quiz, and it.
Oh,
I think it is again using the platform optimally, like delivering the content to people in a way that they prefer to consume the information, rather than pilitin sila o mag face-to-face class tayo, or sige, gumawa tayo ng Zoom session, mag-attend kayo and drop
mm.
everything else. Parang ganon. We wanted to make it as accessible as possible to people, and that's one of the things that we hope to complete before the end of the year. The
So
initial
before the
materials
end
have
of the
already.
year,
Yeah,
my God,
definitely.
that's that fast,
We've
ah. Kasi it's easy to
I've
ano,
already
no?
filmed I've already filmed the first 3 episodes yata, the first
Wow.
three modules. So it's something quite quite easy to deliver, kasi nga the thing about TikTok is you also don't need a lot of production. 'Di ba?
Tools.
Yun ang ano ngayon eh. 'Di ba? It's quite
Correct.
easy as long as you have a decent setup, decent lighting, you can come up with good quality content. Again, depende sa content
Correct.
mo talaga 'yon, ano.
Oh,
Pero it has become easier. You don't have to invest in so much equipment, so much
true, true.
rent a space. It's getting easier. And
Yeah.
while I'm kumaga, the Autism Society is also on TikTok. So we are also exploring other digital channels for the benefit of the community. Now we want to make sure the community is engaged. We want to also attract new markets and new partners. That's why we're also
Mm-mm.
active on LinkedIn for the employer, potential employers and potential partners. And
Yeah.
ayun, so I think the key thing that we want to do over the next year is really maximize our opportunities for partnership and connection. Sabi nga natin, mga taong may autismo at ang ating komunidad ay kakaiba, konektado, kasali. So yun. Yun ang aming
Kakaiba,
battle cry ngayon.
konektado, kasali.
Kasali. Oo.
So, 3Ks ba? Tatlong K ba yun?
Oo.
A-OK, di
Oo.
ba? Kaya yung OK na logo, no? So, So you're into educating through this platform, through TikTok. You're into Autism Society Philippines. Sabi mo nga very hands-on. What else don't you do?
Alam mo,
So
I'm
ano
very
bang
lucky na
ginagawa
to.
mo aside from those two? I know you're a techie. You're very I think even before nung you were with the company with the IBM, I think, no? You were already
Mm,
into
mm,
predictive sciences, AI, stuff
mm.
like that. So you're familiar with algorithms. And tell us, what's going to happen for this platform or in general for all the platforms? Ito, meron na tayong Web3 na sinasabi, no? And then, government and institutions are having this hard time trying to catch up. Papunta pa lang silang Web 2, may Web 3 na, di ba? Parang, how do you uh, connect the digital divide mo na in terms of communicating programs, in terms of communicating advocacies. Ikaw, what do you think should be done? I mean, to connect the digital divide kasi it's too wide for the,
Correct.
diba?
And ano nga while my colleagues from my previous life are always talking about the technology part, always
Yeah,
getting excited about new things coming out. The reality is kung hindi yun gamit ng pangkaraniwang tao, hindi yun magagamit para sa bayan, ika nga.
exactly.
Anong saysay niya, 'di ba? So
Yeah,
ang importante po ngayon ay kailangan magkaroon tayo ng pagkakataon na ang impormasyon ay mapunta sa tamang tao at the right time. Dapat ang mga
right.
estudyante natin ay literate, yeah, ay are
Mhm.
computer literate, are technology savvy. Importante rin po ito to a large extent dahil sa misinformation at disinformation na nangyayari. Kailangan magkaroon ng mga tao ng access sa tama at totoong impormasyon, di ba? So, while the technology is sexy, at marami tayong pwedeng gawin doon,
Oo.
importante pa rin talaga kung ano yung huling yung huling step, 'di ba? Mula doon sa nagbibigay information at doon sa makakarating sa mga tao. So,
Mhm.
sa Pilipinas kahit na gaano karaming gaano ka-sexy ang Web3, pero kung wala naman tayong infrastructure para i-deliver yung content natin,
Exactly. Oo.
balewala. So ever since po I started working in telecoms in 1995, and since
Mhm.
then parang there's always a catch up doon sa available na technology in other countries. So
Yeah.
as long as we are adequate in our infrastructure, in our service delivery to make technology available,
Oo.
ang magandang i-focus natin is yung content, magandang i-focus natin yung literacy, maganda natin i-focus yung, I think, honesty and
Mhm.
truthfulness on whatever we have in the digital space.
So
O, di
parang
ba?
ano, literacy, o di ba? Literacy, um, parang the values, no, the social values, because there's so much, trash content you can see on this platform or other platforms for that matter. And yun nga parang kailangan talaga natin is something developmental. But it's a huge generation ng Gen Zs and of course digital natives. Pero isipin mo muna, andun pa rin yung mga the rural areas, of course. And um, I can see that the platform has been so pervasive that you can see people doing TikTok on in the farms, in the rural areas. So
Mm,
you're
mm.
right, no? I mean, if you are able to communicate literacy, values to these people if they're interested, kasi syempre minsan mga bata, I mean, we can't judge them, but they have different likes or even in the rural areas. So um, if you were to of course you're doing the campaign for advocacy for autism awareness and also for building the community. If you were to build, say for example, a bigger community of people, learners, people who are learning currently at this using these platforms, what direction would you take, Mona, if you were to decide it? No.
Mm-mm. Well, I am not in the K to 12 space. So
Yeah.
I am really an advocate for uh, developing expertise in
Mm,
what you love.
right.
So, example ko yung sarili ko na I'm a business major, I have
Mm-mm.
an MA in economics, pero in my heart talaga, I really loved history and genealogy.
Mm-mm.
So I was lucky enough to have to come to a point in my life where I don't have to work, and I no sorry I still work, but I don't have to be employed, and that
Right.
allowed me to go into things that are I'm passionate about, like genealogy and the autism advocacy. So ayun, so when I started doing that, I was so much happier, and I feel I was able to make an impact in areas where it mattered. So
Mm-mm.
same thing to the kids today, and I think the Gen Zers are not burdened by the same things that I was burdened with when I was young. Kasi parang yun, expectation, oh, magtrabaho ka, oh, ito dapat gawin mo. Parang sila, they are more open to alternative paths. So kung ang love mo talaga ay, magtanim ng gulay, abay go, magtanim ka ng gulay. Kung ang type mo ay magsasayaw sa TikTok, may market din 'yun. Pwede kang kung galingan mo, pwede kang makakuha ka ng endorsement ng
Right.
mga brands, 'di ba?
Oo.
Anything is possible. So, I don't want to put down those who do not have interest in academics kasi hindi naman
Oo.
lahat academically alam natin 'yon. So those who are
Multiple
neurodiverse, 'di ba?
intelligence.
And iba-iba tayo eh. So,
Right.
whatever you want to study, you should be able to develop expertise. Yun yung importante. Wag yung malabnaw ang commitment. Dapat kung gusto mo maging dancer, ay magpaka-dancer ka. Pero kung hindi ka pa sure at importante pa rin talaga na uh, mag-focus ka sa academics mo kung ikaw ay kabataan. Pero kung you're at a point in your life where you can develop your own vocation, yung kumbaga you have your own calling, talagang commit to it. I wish I did that earlier.
Mm-mm.
Um, Although I guess no regrets naman. Uh,
Right.
pero had I started earlier, I don't know if I could have done more. I don't know if
Mm-mm.
I could have developed faster in this space. Kasi ngayon, feeling ko I'm playing catch up to all of the other to all of those who have been in this space for longer than I have. And
Yeah.
ayun, siguro if ever I was in a position to influence, I want to do it like how the Russians do it. Di ba, sa
How is that?
education ko, hindi pag-i-invade. Hindi. Kasi in Russia, kapag nakakita sila ng talented athlete, talagang you get out of that whatever regular school you have and you go into the athlete track. If you are a
Right.
scientist, then you get out and immerse yourself in science. And I'm hoping that while I don't see it happening in the K to 12 and in the collegiate space, I am hoping that we can see a lot of that in the informal challenges, in the informal areas, in the informal channels like
Right.
TikTok, like the other social media platforms. May opportunity doon.
Mhm. And then, of course, this can be monetized, di ba? I mean,
Yeah, that's
um,
true.
so people like I think there's several people already who are, of course, the dancers, the Nianas of this world, and a lot of
Si Miu
people
Miu,
that yeah, yeah.
I think yeah, 'di ba? Parang may
They're
product
really earning
endorsement pa
so
siya.
from that. No.
Yeah, 'di
So
ba? So
yeah, I
there
mean,
is that.
this
Pero
trend is
I
like
think they have passion. Nauna yung passion before the monetization.
yeah, parang if you're really committed to doing what you're doing or your love, like what you're doing now, it's really I don't know, nag-harvest ng of course followers and viewers, and that's really I think something. No? So hindi ko maintindihan like if you were to do another set of shows, Mighty Magulang, wala ka bang ganung plano? Mighty Magulang 2, what would it be?
Wala akong plano
other than what you're
mag-show.
doing now?
No, it's I am very kasi I'm a researcher, so, and
Right.
naman the ASP is also eating up a big chunk of my
A lot
week.
of time.
I
Yes.
I am I am in charge, and hindi mo na yata naabutan to, Nato, but
Mm.
I did start the ASP Autism Works program, which is
Uh,
finding autism inclusive employers for individuals on the autism spectrum. So I'm developing that ecosystem,
yeah.
and
Okay.
that's a big part and a very important part of my life. So the
Mm.
whole content development space, I still want to do it, of course. That is my
Yeah.
passion. Like I said, it's
Mm.
possible to have more than two passions, diba? So
Correct.
I want to do that, and I'm quite and I also continue to research for my clients. So I have that also, and I have opportunities to talk in public, like in schools, in organizations, in
Mm-mm.
among like-minded people who love history. So that's always
Correct.
fun.
Ayun. So,
Okay na sa akin yon.
okay na. So ano ganito, we're down to our last few minutes. Maybe I'll just ask you like what would you advise young or even not so young content creators, and aside from the passion, the commitment, what tips can you give them? Like kami sa TNC, we're already thinking dapat siguro merong TikTok version ng mga shows natin or something, but it's something you need to think about very well. Like it has to be well researched and stuff like that. So, anong advice mo for influencers coming out these days, both young and old? What could you tell them that would help them really, you know, communicate that content across the platform?
I was just actually in a call earlier this morning, and the
Mm.
students were asking me that for their orgs, no. Iba syempre yung approach mo when you are an organization or an institution versus if you are an individual. Kasi kung institution ka, you're representing an institution, syempre kailangan may plano, kailangan meron kang visual standards, kailangan kang editorial plan, kailangan alam mo kung sino yung kausap mo. At yung content mo would be matched to that. Kung ikaw ay individual, talagang gusto mo lang i-document yung day-to-day things that are happening in your life, or gusto mo lang magpasaya ng tao, okay din yun. I think ang
Okay.
importante lang is you are genuine. Kasi yun yung importante sa TikTok eh. Hindi naman
Authenticity.
authenticity is very important, hindi airbrushed, hindi 'di
Mm.
ba, hindi ka laging naka-makeup, hindi kailangan nun, eh. Kailangan
Mm.
authentic, yun ang nag-a-appeal on that platform. It is also important for you to understand the algorithm of TikTok na paano ka mapu-push out sa FYP. Usually kapag mababa ang engagement, hindi dumadami. It's weird nga, eh, na 'pag nagkaroon ng mataas na engagement lalo pang lalaki. Pero kung parang kailangan
Mm.
mo munang ma-hurdle yung hump na yon before you get the content, the followers. It's
Yeah.
important to also have, I think, quality content. You have to tell a story. And that
Mm.
is what the collection of your posts, whether magsayaw ka ngayon, bukas magkwento ka, sa susunod magdub ka, it has to
Oh.
tell a story about you. It has to tell a story about what you're good at and what you stand for. I think yun yung importante, and yung mga hindi mo maintindihan yung connection dun sa mga accounts na yun. Usually those are the ones that do not perform well. Pero pag makikita mo yung connection at yung storya amid
Mm.
the collection of videos, that is the one that appeals the most. Ika nga ng mga kabataan, huwag yung dapat feel dump account. Yung mga dump accounts, so yung talagang
Oo.
kung ano man yung nasa phone mo, doon mo lang ilalagay, ipopost mo lang na ipopost.
Oo.
Hindi dapat
Right.
ganon. Hindi dapat
Ayun.
ganon. You have to curate, you have to put forth the best version of yourself. You also have to have the right tools. Hindi
Mhm.
sa TikTok and in the platforms nowadays, hindi pwedeng may walang PA, walang or walang lighting, wala, ikaw lahat yon. Editing, ikaw din yon. So you have to be technology, I guess,
Savvy.
technologically self-sufficient. Na
Yeah.
kailangan marunong ka mag-edit, kailangan marunong ka magsulat, kailangan marunong ka mag-ayos ng camera mo. So yun, I think that's one thing that I can suggest to all of those who are planning their content. And also you have to commit, as in regularly dapat kang nagpo-post, dahil especially on the TikTok platform, isang linggo kang mawala, your followers are going to drop. That's
Wow.
just how it works.
Grabe. Okay, di ba? So, Mona, it's so short, no? Parang ang bilis-bilis ng isang oras. I hope we could do maybe sometime in the future another session or another interview. But on behalf of the viewers of Para sa Bayan and the new channel, thank you for joining us in Bicon. Ganon eh. Siyempre, ikaw awardee, kami nakijoin lang. And then, congratulations also for that award. No, this is a time where you play a very significant role in reaching out to the young people, in building the country, and then sabi mo nga, retailer of information. And with that, Mona, thank you very much for extending your time with us. I know you have a doctor's appointment, but um, thank you for joining the show and explaining, telling us your story, this TikTok journey of yours. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Magno-Veluz, Mighty Magulang. This has been Mighty Magulang 101. God bless everyone and good night. See you next Saturday. I think that's season 3 na, baka hindi next Saturday. So, you're the last. Ito na season 2, last episode of season 2. So, thank you for joining us, Mona. God bless you.
Thank you, Nato.
God bless everyone. Good night. Thank you, Mighty Magulang. Meow, meow. Isa nga meow,
O,
meow.
di ba?
All right. Bye, guys.